disrespectful.
Yes, the year after.
Disrespectful? Well, I'm not sure what this word means. I think it's disrespectful. Going to same class with once. What do you mean disrespectful?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the third party. Like, you have other people that have interest.
Who gives a fuck about Pakistan? With all due respect, like, listen, war is not war is a game. It's not a game, okay? You think that war is a game, that we need to think what Pakistan think. No, it's about survival. It's about removing threats. It's not about acting like to do like favors to Pakistan.
No, look. We can say that America and Israel had absolutely no intention of making a deal, but they went there for
America may, Israel no. Israel was not part of the negotiation, but we definitely don't want a deal.
No, look, Israel came out and said, regardless of what's going to happen, the red line is getting that enrichment, that uranium. That's what they just said yesterday. Regardless on whatever said or whatever this is, it is a thing for Israel to acquire that 460 kilograms of enriched uranium. That's their objective. Like, that's their red line. Donald Trump is saying the exact same thing. There's no deal until you give us that thing. So they're absolutely aligned here. Trump and Israel. If they give them the stockpile, Israel will leave. Yes. America will leave immediately. Yes. Right. So the point I'm making is pretty clear. If America is saying, hey man, we have to look like the way we're looking at in the world, we have to have the world put pressure on Iran. So you see Pakistan, you see China, you see all these other countries that are affected by the Strait of Hormuz. There's this global effort right now. You've seen UK's Prime Minister just announced a day for yesterday in Saudi Arabia that they're mobilizing some sort of a coalition to open up the Strait of Hormuz. So you're seeing countries now like fall in line with, they probably don't like what America and Israel are doing, but they're falling in line to go over there and put pressure on Iran. So on the world stage, you want the optics to look like you're doing the diplomatic thing, because that's supposed to be like the preferred like method of dealing with, differences, right?
Yeah, this is where Trump went to the negotiation despite being very far off, in order to show that they are giving an attempt to politics before continuing the bombing.
Yeah. Give your word, like if this is like your objective to here, like you're on the level agreement, and you say 2 weeks, if you don't start shipping it from the negotiation,
2 weeks before the negotiation, okay, to show that we are willing to go, that we are willing to, no, the negotiation ended.
No, the talks ended, the negotiations are always open. It's open.
Okay, at some point they will say, okay, we are too far off. So you're saying that once they realize they don't come to an agreement, they should just wait for another, 10 days out of respect to Pakistan?
To the world?
That is, not only that is like, okay, tell me, what does it give on the world stage? Let's say that Trump and Iran said, okay, we are too far off, okay? We don't agree, okay? But then you say, but let's just wait for 10 words for the world to think what? What's the purpose of waiting?
That we're allowing.
No, I understand. But let's say we agreed that there is nothing, like, okay, we tried it. We are so far off. It's not that we need some time to kind of hash out the small details. We are like not an agreement. Okay, there's no talk, and then everybody said, okay, there's nothing to talk about. It's not about like how many or how long or whatever. It's just like no negotiation. So what is the purpose of waiting 10 more days if we are saying that we are too far off?
Yeah, so it's like this is what happens here, right? So it's like 21 hours negotiations. You walk away, JD Vance announces this is bad for Iran, whatever this is, right? So during the ceasefire, you start adding more pressure, more leverage that is not like within a kinetic context, right? So then you start placing, let's say, that coalition I just described, where they start sweeping the Strait of Hormuz without firing a shot. Then you start creating these blockades. It doesn't seem feasible for Iran to keep that position. In the next 10 days, there's going to be a different Iran perspective, because they're starting to see that their economic outlook is starting to constrict. This adds more.
Go ahead. No, I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Yeah, this just adds more leverage within this 10-day window. Let's just say it's 10 days, whatever. This 10-day window where they're starting to see, like, let's say Cargo Island, or somebody accidentally bombs the freaking Cargo Island production facility, like they bombed the freaking, the Ukrainian, the pipeline from Russia in Ukraine, right? Like something like that happens, right? So then they have to make this decision, like, oh shit, now we don't got no money coming in. We didn't really see it going this far, but now that we have new facts to actually like filter through, we might have to like readdress our prior statement or whatever this is, right? Like that's how you do that.
This is delusional at best. I'm sorry. No, I don't mean no disrespect. I'm just saying.
Brother, you don't really want to do this. Go ahead. Let's give it a try.
I mean, honestly, it's just your whole tirade is just delusional. Like you're stretching the arm on what position America has. This country of Iran is holding the Straits. They're holding it in spite of all the attacks from Israel and America. Or actually America, because Israel, I haven't seen any of their armies suited up. I don't see any Israeli flags. I don't see any Israeli air fighters or any of this shit. I don't see any of that happening from Israel. This is America doing all of this and on behalf of Israel. Israel wants to control the region. That's what this is all about. They've already annihilated all right, so they've already
Dude, Israel is doing like 200 flights to Iran per day. What are you talking about? You don't.
all right, so everybody.
No, seriously, where are you getting your news from that you think that Israel is not participating in this?
Hold on a second.
Like, seriously, too.
Hold on a second. I know. Okay, so this is the echo chamber.
No, forget about echo chamber. It's facts. It's not echo chamber. It's about facts. What are you talking about? You know what? United States is not even there. United States. Why are you in an echo chamber? I'm telling you, the United States Army is not in Iran. Trump is not the president. Why are you in an echo chamber?
You're going to ignore it's my mic.
Iran is not it's not a country.
Ignore that it's my turn, right?
No, I'm just saying that I'm ignoring the fact that the United States Army is not even there.
I'm not just saying anything if it's my turn.
He's a moderator. He can talk over you. He can move you down. He can.
And Trump is not even the president right now. If you want, why are you in an echo chamber? You're listening on to Tony music. My music says that Trump is not even the president. Dude,
You would never do this if we were in a barbershop in front of each other. You would never do this. So why?
No, we're not probably engaged with you in the barbershop.
Daniel. Daniel, I just want to know, do you think you would go in the same barbershop as Thug to get do you line your hair like Thug? Do you think that he gets a haircut like you? Do you line your hair, Thug? Do you line it?
That's the funny part about it. He would never do this in the barbershop that I'm in. Never.
No, I will never. I don't live in an echo chamber. You can have your own opinions. Sweetie, listen to me 1 second, one sentence. Let me give you one sentence, okay? Listen, give me one sentence. You can have your own opinion, that is fine. You cannot have.
That would cause a fist fight. Hello? Okay, everybody, welcome back to JD Vance Failed to Negotiate Peace. What's next? Raise your hand. Show us what you got. You get 30 to 60 seconds to tell us your opinion. Hello?
Maybe I go next. I have taught from day one that negotiating with the Islamic Republic is impossible. The these guys come from a different DNA. They have chanted death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. It's nice to try. I give them U.S. Some. It's good to give them a benefit of doubt and hope to change behavior, but I don't think they're capable of change. And maybe this blockade or not letting them earn any money, maybe that helps to drive some of them out. But eventually they have to get them all. Eventually they have to get all the terrorists, all the hardliners. They have now imported terrorists from Afghanistan, from Iraq, and they are going in the streets and just blocking the streets, so the people of Iran are afraid to get out. Peace, we need to take out the terrorist mentality, and part of them that are holding guns, unfortunately, it's going to be a bloodbath. Those people can only be taken with force. And then the rest of them, maybe they can be managed over a long period of time by the Iranian people if they are able to take over the government. But yeah, I don't see any other way for this to be done with negotiation. I guess yesterday they really proved it. We'll see if they come back in a week or not. But yeah, that.
Melanie, you say it's going to be the only way, but what I'm wondering is, in the Japanese negotiation and surrender in World War II, soldiers will follow Operation who's a terrorist to disappear. But what I'm saying is perhaps an order is going to come from the top of whatever is left from the top of the mountain. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you Mountain Man!
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Elder.
Yes. This is the exact mindset of the people. This is why you have Israel, and this is why you have wars going on. Exactly what she said. When people decide to fight against people that's been killing them, try to wipe out the Palestinians, try to wipe out people, and just
You mean like on October? You mean like after Supernova when the Jews in Israel were like, no, you can't come to the car, kill us.
Islamic Republic is a terrorist regime. Look at how they treat their own people.
Israel is a terrorist regime that have been dropping bombs on children.
Elder, that's just my opinion.
Civilians,
Targeting civilians.
This is what the IRGC is doing. Israel is not targeting civilians.
And targeting their own civilians. IRGC has killed over 40,000 Iranians. This is the mentality of the regime.
Sorry, can I ask a question from Elder?
Today, they have blocked internet, so you cannot even hear the voice of the Iranians. They are a terrorist.
You think that you're the chosen people. That's the problem. You think that everybody. Worst crime is targeting your own civilians. Miss, do you have any discipline? I did not say anything when you were speaking. You believe that you're the chosen people. So you believe that you have a right
Who believes this, dude? Where are you from? Whoever told you that we believe, and she's not Jewish even, and I assume you mean Jews, right? And I don't think she's Jewish. She's
I'm
Persian.
not Jewish.
So maybe try to bring like facts and keep your anti-Semitic rhetoric to yourself because it will not help you make a point.
Actually, I am Iranian. I have family in Iran. They are waiting for this war to be over and they want the Islamic Republic gone. That's what the real people of Iran want, but they want. That's why the internet is blocked. So they have to pay a lot of money to get a VPN to was happy that Trump negotiations failed. No, this is my whole family. This is not paid propaganda. I know you think.
Isn't this paid propaganda? It's pretty good. It's very cheap too. We put out production scale, high quality.
Purpose of having 600 kilometers of tunnel under the West Bank.
They understood that this has been going on with America.
Hiding weapons, which means that they are themselves to attack others.
No,
When you're accusing Israel to just, you're accusing Israel.
They're preparing themselves to defend themselves. They have become America.
Sociopathic is when you don't know the difference between good and bad and wrong, like good and evil and wrong and bad. Terrorists, listen, terrorists target civilians, okay? This is what terrorism is. It's using fear against population. When IDF is targeting Hezbollah or Hamas, they are not targeting civilians. When a Palestinian goes and blows himself up in the middle of a restaurant, that is terrorism. Because it's not, the objective is to cause terror. It's not that those people that were eating at the restaurant were posing a threat. Do you understand the difference? And forget about Israel, and forget about Islam. Understand the concept. And between bad and evil. Don't become a sociopath.
Waiting. But before we move on to Mountain, we're going to give you 30 seconds to make a final point, Elder. And go ahead. You got 30 seconds to make your point. Don't ask any questions. Go ahead, Elder. If you ask a question, I'm just going to move you to the goop. But you got 30 seconds to make your final point.
So I don't know what
they have this opportunity. This is it. So I don't know if they're willing to do it. If they're willing to put up with 47 years of what the IRGC did, then I'm sure they're still too afraid or unwilling to act now.
No, they're just waiting for it to deteriorate just a little
They don't have the weapons, right? So they don't have the weapons.
You just have to wait. Like, let's say you cut the power off. Let's say every time.
So Samoa, I sure do. And that's the thing is, you look. I mean, it's likely to happen. I mean, look, it's kind of a domino effect here. We got Iraq, we got Libya, we got Syria. We tried with Afghanistan, that didn't work out so well. If we wanted to get it, but I mean, there is no leadership in Afghanistan.
I think it's a different objective for Afghanistan. I think this one's a little bit more. America happens to have in their sight. So look at this like choking point, or not choking point, but blockade that they're talking about here. Everything is being brought, like Donald Trump says, hey, the blockade is going to be like put in. So now they're going to constrict the economy, and then they're going to be able to like identify certain bombs. Now the Strait of Hormuz is going to be moving with this coalition, daring Iran to violate the ceasefire, moving into new green lit targets that are within the interior of Iran, while choking off all of their export revenue. Right, so like this is like the second layer, which would probably take 3 to 4 weeks in my estimation, right, before they start feeling the actual pressures.
Apparently, also he has now that if the Iranians, because of the mining of international shipping lanes, apparently now he has another avenue of legal justification. So he has other maritime shipping, global shipping.
Samoa.
Then the Iranians put themselves in a can of worms.
Samoa, have you ever had your business shut down? Do you know what that feels like when, the government comes in, kicks your door down, shuts your business down, takes everything you have, and then, leaves you with nothing? You know what that feels like? Welcome back, everybody, to JD Vance Failed to Negotiate Peace. What's next? If you're in the audience and you have an opinion, we want to hear it. Raise your hand. Let's hear your voice. I hope everybody has fun. This is a room with one goal, and that's to have some fun.
Yeah, I think JD Vance, I think that he's the person that was against the conflict in the first place. He's going to capitulate to like Iran's more leveled like position, and he walked out pretty easy, right? So it's kind of like makes Iran kind of seems as if they're the ones that are not being genuine, like in the engagement, right?
Definitely say a stock went up, man. I mean, maybe down the road, if that's No, let me finish, Samoa. The reason why is because I think he is a little bit. Remember, he used to be in 2016 elections. We need that toughness. I love that Marco Rubio is able to admit certain things. You know, I mean, his speech on the floor about Obama, the Iranian nuclear deal was amazing, nail on the head. I love what he's doing, and I love that he's a Cuban. Don't act like I'm racist, motherfucker. I love this Cuban. I'm hoping.
That was 5 minutes ago.
Can get before the midterms a soft collapse of Cuba, and eventually within 5 to 10 years we can make it to where they have, just like the mafia was hoping so. It'll be like Little Vegas, maybe not really Little Vegas, but we can normalize relations. We can trade with them. They'll be out of the Russia, China, Venezuela, and we can start having. Taking on that mantle to fight Donald Trump, and they would love to put someone in like Jeb Bush, or Marco Rubio to continue the status quo. I'm never going to forget that. And if you think that MAGA is going to go ahead and put in somebody with ties to the status quo so willingly, I don't think you understand MAGA.
Yeah, I think the argument here that you're making best fits J.D. Vance. So when J.D. Vance says that Donald Trump could either be like this guy, and all the Republicans thought the same thing because they didn't know exactly like people change their position, and you have to allow them to change their position. You're talking about a person time, and they say, how do we put these Democrats in a box and lock those diplomatic or like bipartisan cooperation? That's fine. So Marco Rubio is making his decisions based off of like what Donald Trump has been saying, which seemed a little extreme at the time, and it seemed like it wouldn't get anything done. So you could just say, hey, Donald Trump's not ready. He has absolutely no history. J.D. Vance held the same exact sentiment. So the argument that you're actually making it against Marco Rubio, you'll just make it against J.D. Vance. You just say J.D. Vance had the exact same reservations.
Well, he had reservations, but he wasn't accused of being tied to the swamp. I mean, are going into Trinidad. It's clearly not about the drug dope. It's for something else. For something else big. And you're like, no, it's about the drug boats, man. And you just have to wait.
Your recollection is about a person. I'm just saying that. Well, let me just point this out. I'm saying that once they designate certain entities as being, let's say, non-public, then it allows you to use. This is aligned with this justification because of this designation by the Secretary of State. That's why I'm interested in it. I was saying that that should tell us that they're using.
Yes, I was like, clearly, because I was mad about it, because I was like, bro, it seems like they're posturing to Venezuela. I said, I don't want this forever war. It's clearly not about the drug boats. You're like, yeah, it's about the drug boats. And then they were trying to
Thank you, Steve, for the incredible content as always. Welcome to the stage, peace. When you're a wedding planner and you got photos and videos and you can't eat, you got to wait till everybody else eats, then you lose the contract because you complained. Welcome to the show, TC.
Yeah, well, you wish I was a wedding planner.
Guy, he's not here anymore. Let's
And these, on the back of these trucks were casks. These casks, they hold enriched uranium. They can move this enriched uranium, and that's what they did. So they have it hidden somewhere in this country. So before you say mission accomplished and you know that we destroyed their nuclear, that's not likely true, dude. Unless you you have some fucking advanced knowledge that I don't. But that's definitely not true. That's why we're
you. And unfortunately, I don't really like it when people just keep repeating "kiss my ass." So we're moving this conversation along. We're shaking, we're dancing, we're having fun, everybody. Raise your hand if you want to tell us your opinion on this war. What's the hello?
I wanted to respond to TC with a report. I'm mystified. I have to tell you, right now, I don't think that a lot of individuals understand the depth of our situation for it, but it's just more because of misinformation. We really don't have an idea of what's happening in Iran itself. They've destroyed I don't know what side you would blame for it, but the internet is not of usage in many sectors of the country for it. And there are some pieces of information, particularly to foreign news sources. But I don't think people see the bigger picture. And I think we can see the one which is directly in front of us. Our price increases in regard to gas. The fuel affects everything. Everything, because everything that you use was bought there by some agent that uses fuel. So if it's in the process of saying what the effects are or where exactly we stand, we can have one very clearly. On the world stage, there are some countries right now which are in major cities are suffering blackouts because of the lack of oil. The money that use the oil as needed, they don't really build up to build an infrastructure to hold tons and tons of oil that you're millions of barrels that you'll use each day is not practical. So many of those countries that are dependent on that oil, that affects not only the world economy, but it also affects what's happening in those countries. So it's causing chaos all around the world. And the fact that J.D. Vance, which you can have your own opinions in regard to his political aspirations in regard to that, I really don't think he has that much chance in this situation for it. Because remember, he was a big anti-war individual. He supported Trump vehemently on the fact that there'll be no new wars. And here we are. And in that type of situation for it, I'm not sure he's in the party's grace. He's definitely not in Mega's grace. So where do we stand? What happens? And I just think that if people would look at that larger picture as far as the effects not only on you personally, but also in regard to the world, this was not a good decision. It was not
Alec, can I ask you a question? What was the highest price that Obama had fuel prices at? I mean, for his national average. I'm looking here. That's $3.96, $3.97 per gallon in May 2011. So when Obama had national fuel prices at that high, $4 a gallon for fuel, were you guys screaming and crying?
Well,
No.
first, we weren't in we're just coming out of the situation in regard to the housing prices. Remember that? Do you remember?
Okay, so it's that. It's the housing price.
Well, wait a second. So we were actually in recession at that period in which Obama took office.
What's crazy about that, though? What's crazy is all these blue states. You can't deny it. You guys love your higher taxes. People are fleeing blue states because you guys make everything higher. Everything. But you cannot sit here and admit that Obama had things higher too. You're okay with higher priced gas when it comes to green new initiatives. But goddamn it, when we're trying to disarm, a bunch of terrorists from nuclear weapons, now you want to bitch and scream about $1 higher per gallon. I think it's hypocritical. I think you're hypocritical and you're selective outrage.
Well, okay. Well, let's examine this for a more historical basis, okay? So then that way, the bigger picture may give us a little better perspective and aspects. The United States has actually been playing in the East for the last 50 years. We caused a lot of upheaval, a lot of wars, change of regimes, so forth. So this is not something new. Many presidents have undergone the same type of situation, realize limitations in regard to what can happen in this. This one, we might say, was started by Israel more than the United States, without prudent sort of thought as to possible consequences. But we're serving another agenda. So we're serving their agenda at this point in time. But now we're in a situation where, I don't remember, months ago we said that we had obliterated their nuclear program. Then we came back and said, oh, well, it wasn't obliterated. They were still, there's enriched uranium. Oh, wait a second, but they have these other places for it. So why don't we do this? We'll just remove the entire regime. Well, that's funny, too, because now the new regime, which we can't tell what's happening in Iran right now, but maybe and possibly is, and all indications are, is the son of the individual whose wife and children we just killed. Okay? So I'm not saying that it's like a victory. I'm not saying that it's something that was a planned situation, but right now I guess it's nothing at all. Because even the vice president can't negotiate some type of...
Sir, are you going to respond to what I said? The Democrats in all their states with their higher taxes, for God's sakes, my parents live in Washington. I live in Montana. And I'm paying, about $3.70 per gallon right now, which is high, but higher than normal. But they're paying $5 a gallon, man. It's the differences are striking from these blue states. Everything is higher, and that's why the people in those states. And you're going to sit here and bitch about higher prices when literally Obama had national fuel prices at that high, $3.97 in 2011. 2011, it's 2026, dude. Don't sit here and bitch about your selective outrage because you love higher fuel prices when it comes to, like you said, the Green New Deal initiative, the green initiatives. That's okay. Taxing, oil companies, with their tax credits and getting rid of their drilling permits, like Obama and Biden did. That's okay. But now you're bitching about us because we're intervening because it's $1 a gallon higher or so. I know it's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy.
It's great. No, wait, have you lost your mind? Listen,
Asking you what?
There's a war. Don't try to put Obama in perspective in regard to this president and the last one. Don't try to look at it. This is a garbage presidency. This is a garbage. Don't compare those two. In the economic situation which was occurring in all presidents go through cycles of stuff. You know what I mean? But nobody has a budget like Trump, right? 37 trillion? Yeah, okay, so don't give me all that. Don't get me wrong, you passed Obamacare with, try to kill it as you may. But And that still is in existence from now. And listen, it didn't cost $1 trillion. It didn't cost $1 trillion. So wait a second. This individual has passed legislation, and for the last two, this kills me, Leo. Because even if you say that you don't like the Democrats and they're all the blue states, oh my God, the blue states actually pay more of the taxes for the federal government than the red states. They actually pay the taxes and things. Also, cost of living.
Show me.
Prove it.
The blue state
No, I don't pay their bill. What are you talking about? It's just in regard to the state, the taxes in California not exceed exactly what, such as Mississippi, which are for overall revenue issues for it, are not able. Does not compensate the federal government in regard to its overall budget. Is that what you're saying is not true?
That is what I'm saying. I live in the Midwest.
And
TA, why don't you answer Mountain's question about the oil price? You're just sitting around and sleeping, trying to get.
All right, hold on. Okay, what's the question?
The question is because you were the one raised about the gas price as a reason for against the war, and the Mountain just refuted you. Why don't you answer to that question?
Okay, the first question in regard to it, as I said, because of our interest in the Middle East, oftentimes it has affected situations in regard to pricing. And oftentimes it may be something that, certain countries decide to hold. OPEC is a very strong agency for the idea. I mean, it's a major currency. Now, there are times in which oil prices increase depending upon overall demand or structural problems in regard to environmental issues as well for things like that. But there are times in which the overall amount of oil doesn't flow as frequently. It really doesn't matter for the U.S., right? We have reserves, we do shale, we do all of these other aspects that we could supply our damn what we can. We got all kind of stuff. But it does affect the world market in regard to the price of oil. In this situation, Trump has.
Did you go do what I asked you to do? I said, "Let's get him, baby, big girl."
So anyway,
He was talking to you, TA.
That's what I'm saying. What? If you look at oil price, usually by slow numbers, right? What was the oil price at the beginning of the war, and what was the oil price in regard to the next 3 days after the war? In that aspect, for it, Obama never caused you increase in such degrees in regard to because some supplies.
Okay, but Alex, here's the thing, Maurice. This is an amateur conversation. Oil always goes up in wartime. Always. Yeah, always. Yeah. Tell me about that. Oh, Alex, hold on. You do know that. So Obama and Biden, the reason why fuel prices went up under them significantly was because they are simply unfriendly towards the oil companies. So I'll give you an example. I worked in Millfield, North Dakota, so I know what I'm talking about. The oil fields, the oil companies, they get credits. They get credits, and basically tax credits that are given to them, because they got huge startup costs. These were wiped out, taken away by Obama and Biden. Also, they have to have permits to drill. These permits, a lot of them were taken away. Pipelines that were in effect, like the Keystone XL pipeline, canceled because these presidents are unfriendly towards oil. When you're unfriendly towards oil, you end their tax credits, you end their drilling, licenses. You make it tougher for them. Then oil prices go up, but you don't say nothing. Okay, but yes, during wartime, temporarily, we're going to see some increases in fuel, but it's temporary. But the selective outrage is fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy. You don't give a fuck that all these different, people are, like I say, running away from those states you're talking about that pay. And New York, California, they're in huge debt. And way more than they're taking in. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. My parents live in Washington. They just incorporated in March, what was it, 29th, 2026. They incorporated 9.9% wealth tax. Where if you make over $1 million a year income, you get taxed 9.9%. That might not seem like a lot to people, but nowadays, $1 million, especially in a state like Washington, is really not all that much. Being a millionaire nowadays, $1 million is really not that fucking much. I'm just, and you say 9.9%, fry me a river, I get it, but it's a slippery fucking slope. And this is what's happening in these states. This is what happens when you have a Democratic leadership. And you're going to sit here and bitch about Donald Trump trying to disarm the mullahs. Whatever, man.
Let me take you back a little bit. You're selective. In regard to, what did Trump say that he would do the first day he got in office?
Free Palestine.
Free
California.
Well, we worked on that, right?
Ukraine during the war.
And okay, yeah, that was it. And what else? I'm going to bring down prices. I'm going to bring down inflation. Right? So I'm just saying. So when he, went to work at it, he went to work in regard to the I suppose, implementation of the tariffs. Right? You remember those, the big tariffs to bully other countries in regard to situations forward, to wreck the world economy, just back and forth, like just uncertainty. You remember that? Well, then we kind of get to our situation in regard to the tariffs are ruled unconstitutional. That's illegal. You can't do it. So now we're in a situation in which was that the economic policy?
Is that your opinion that it's illegal and he can't institute tariffs? Or is that a fact that he can't institute tariffs because it's illegal? Which one is it, TA?
In regard to the changing of markets, the uncertainty in regard to like unstable markets, particularly, remember Trump said, I'll let the oil companies go wild. You can go crazy. Come on, give me $1 billion. You got it. Any place you want to go. And in that sense, I would have thought that the oil industry would be doing fantastic, would be doing great.
Okay, TA, Alex, you got 30 more seconds. You got to land your plane. 30 more seconds tops.
He said drill, baby, drill.
Oh, no, I'll land it there because I'm just trying to state facts.
Got it. Facts are often confused. Facts are often confused with opinions. Do you opinion, Alex?
I heard somebody say that facts don't care about your feelings. Is this true? Can anybody help me with this?
Yes, but it's also my opinion that many people's facts. Alex, would you agree with that opinion?
I think it should be based in information. I mean, I go scientific with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Got it. So you use your power. Okay, then you make a hypothesis. Got it. All right, well, El Normo is here, the surprise guest, ultra luxury 5-star clubhouse superhero host of your dreams, to give you the truth, the facts, not opinions. Take it away, El Normo!
Well, our president has said that if they don't open the Strait of Hormuz, he's going to take it, and he's going to rename
The Strait of Trump!
And he wants to mix it up to keep people from getting bored, and so he will call it the Strait of Donald.
That's big. That's huge. Can you imagine how big it is when it...
Can I say something?
My son.
I'm sorry. I just want to read you something that one of the Iranian parliament member just tweeted a while ago regarding the negotiation, which is related to the room topic. And he mentioned that we didn't achieve the agreement because they wanted to join the share with Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. Second, they wanted 60% of uranium to leave Iran, and they wanted to revoke the right to enrich in Iran for 20 years. on. I just want to mention that.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, must be nice.
Yeah. You know that I'm not the IRGC supporter. I was just mentioning that what is he just tweeted regarding the room topic. I'm not never ever supported this guy. To one of these
Not
guys,
Robert Scam.
I was just thinking to just go over and see what they are really thinking. You know, they count on the people like think that probably the pressure from inside the U.S. will push Donald Trump to withdraw from the war, and they have this narrative among each other that probably the parliament will not accept Donald Trump to continue to have a war in Iran, and that's why they are still resisting. So from the war.
Some people have called it the enemy within.
Exactly.
Bad thing. And if he does rename it, will it update the GPS systems on all the oil tankers coming in to take the oil out? Also, don't forget, Trump has told the world that America is the world's largest oil producer. So bring your ships to the Gulf Coast, bring your ships to the West Coast, bring your ships to the East Coast. We will fill them with our beautiful, luscious oil.
special forces, recon units, you know what I mean? Then special forces incursion. We want to make sure we still win the optics war here. We don't want the Democrats saying, "Ha ha, see, they're sending in troops." Well, yes, but these are special forces. All right, we do that all over the world. So, and that'll be effective, lightning fast. We get the shit, we get it out of there. You know, that's what I think. So.
I'm hearing rumors now that the Islamic Revolutionary Genocide Corps is going to join forces with Palestine and drop exploding Palestinians on Israel. Has anybody heard?
I have. These types of fragmentary weapons are very unstable, and they have to put these on civilian territories in the way that Iran is doing it in Israel. And, you know, why aren't we seeing the videos? Is there a blackout on videos in Israel because they don't want to give up delivery and targeting, you know, destinations?
Any truth to the rumor that Iran plans to drop exploding Palestinians on Israel?
But see, this clubhouse room is not all serious, ladies and gentlemen. Some of it's, and we want you to join the fun. So raise your hand and tell us what you're thinking. I just want to quote Pepe, the world famous. That's my Pepe impersonation.
Jews. Let me add to that, please. It's Israel. It's the Jews. It's the Zionists. Thank you.
That's not even Pepe's MO as far as the anti-Zionist rhetoric. It's not even his MO, actually. But what is actual is
You're
not going to catch me. I'm going to keep it general, and I'm going to give my statement clear.
You said that you don't believe there's a nuclear threat. And when I asked you, you said that's just as much as I believe there is one. So what do I believe about the nuclear threat? Otherwise, just tell us what you think instead of referring to me. Go ahead.
That's what I think. We're trying to dig a little deeper than that, and you're trying to
try to catch your movements home, but you're not going to get this here.
Okay.
I know just as much as you know about this. That's the point.
Okay.
You need to fight on.
What did I speculate?
You speculate that they are a threat.
I
You've been told
speculated.
that they It's already with your because the same authority, who gave us the idea, the same authority who gave us the idea that
One at a time.
believe
You say,
don't you?
you saying George
The
Bush
number
over
of
this place?
ladies have come out recently and said that there weren't, and they made a mistake.
Well, yeah.
So what are we talking about?
Them. Why do you believe them this time? You don't believe them, right? Why do you believe them this time?
All you gotta do is wag a fucking tail and you're gonna
Wag a fucking
chase it like a fucking dog.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is wag a dog and you just so fucking
How
dumb.
are you wagging?
Because it's our side. Because it's our side.
Are you wagging?
No, this is the truth about it.
And what
This
are
is
you
I
finding
know-
out with your own
because
eyes?
it's
what you can see with your own eyes, right?
Never said that. I just clarified that logic. I never said that. I never said that. You are painting. No, you are painting that logic. I'm gonna go repeat it to you one more time, and I just said it. But you're not gonna take it because that's. Sir, I am a
Here's that
conservative.
you are.
I am. You're not going to win with this logic. You can't have a straight conversation with me because you are too busy trying to test my logic, you motherfucker, instead of having a conversation.
That's what you said.
You're not, look, I am not a fucking defendant on the stand. I am voicing my opinion just now.
In what year did you vote for Donald Trump?
But here in this limited opportunity, we can give you the facts, ladies and gentlemen. fun right now? You want me to shut up? Put a 2 in the chat. Okay, everybody, continue the conversation. I am complete. This has been your public service announcement from Club. There's a lot of 2s in the chat for me to shut up. Well, that's not a surprise, is it? Well, this has been a huge room. Look how many people are in the audience. You mouth. And so we have been discussing the truth of the earth from your birth until cell phone. Is it fun? Philosophy. It's more of like a thing about life. Facts. And I ask you, is it your opinion that many people confuse facts and opinions and you say no? Well, then you clearly don't understand that no one has any facts. to pay billions of dollars in settlements. They're Catholics. Catholics. They got the Vatican. They got their own state. They got their own religious fascist dictatorship in the Vatican. It's so beautiful, though. Have you been to Italy? It's so beautiful and so, the marble, and it's so luxurious. Oh, they live in such luxury. Ooh, I love your red gown. It's shimmering. It's beautiful. Do you have sequins under there? Ooh, who's your newest boyfriend? Oh, you're going to San Francisco next weekend? Let's go shopping.
You know, we just finished Lent, right?
Did you lend anybody money? Did you buy any new clothes for the priests? Ooh, have you sacrificed your child yet to the Someone killings and sexual abuse lawsuits.
Presidents or popes or individuals, it's all about the power. You know, well, I mean, we all admit that. We all come to the understanding in regard to it. But the thing is,
You know what? I think I just heard. on another voting bullshit, ladies and gentlemen, because he's trying to present to you the opposite of the truth, which is his opinion. I rest my case. Aha!
And yeah, you're pleading to authority. It's a false authority you plead.
Here, I'm actually going to play for you a little harp here, because basically this is all you just did, Alex, with all your bullshit. Listen. Let me ask you this, Alex. Can you thank you, KJV, for that glorious historical booklet.
Didn't come out until 800, right? Okay, let's just go to the Ten Commandments. I suppose that's the quickest reference you could use for it. That's it.
Oh, that's it. All right.
I
Well,
think that would be
that's one here. That's an opinion. Go ahead.
okay. That's what I'm saying. You asked me. In regard to the second part, the Old Testament is filled with a lot of mysticism. A lot of
Mysticism? What is a mystic and what is mysticism? Hello?
well, mysticism. That's not a
Oh, I asked you what is mysticism, and after you gave me your opinion, I hit that. Hello?
Let me refrain from giving you an analogy for it. My opinion. All right. I'm just saying, I was trying to get it like an example. But that's what would be considered mysticism. It's just something which is not, it's unbelievable. Put it like that, the simplest word.
Unbelievable. Well, can you give me an example of something that's unbelievable?
That's why I say it, like the Great Flood. You know, Noah got the two
The
animals.
Great Flood?
Yeah.
What?
Well, you never,
What, Alex? What do you think the biggest difference is between Moses and Noah?
Moses freed the people, took his people out. Noah, he saved his family.
So one kind of like a microcosm.
But you know what? I won't discount the fact in regard to human behavior and what could possibly occur, particularly in regard to culture or in regard to like time periods.
Wait a minute, are you one of those talking apes?
I believe in evolution, but at the same
If you believe in evolution, do you believe in like herd evolution?
to a degree. I mean, some specifics in regard to like it's the same thing that comes about with herd immunity. It's in the aspect of that grouping.
Uh-huh.
That would work for us in all aspects for it or alone.
Do you think incest can create mutations genetically?
Yes.
Do you think mutations are a requirement of evolution?
They are, but not in a negative sense.
Let's repeat that, ladies and gentlemen. Mutation is a requirement of evolution. That's an opinion, not a fact, right? We just confirmed it's a fact, not a...
Yeah, but I would argue that for the advancement for evolution to take place for it, nature tries new things. It tries in regard to seeing if there's something that can show adaptability. You know what I mean? And some things as to whether or not it's a necessary need in regard to the Earth's overall.
Well, my only point in AP Bio, and we were told that mutation is a requirement. You know, teach Star Wars when the Sith Lord says and absolutes, because that's kind of an all or nothing statement, and it's a bold backs up a theory. So I'm just trying to get to the facts, not the...
Well, I mean, that's use scientific method. I mean, use the idea in regard to that conservation. I think that you would see it's like you can't really explain psychological conditions or conditions in regard to that deal with the genome without really sort of understanding. First, we are just diving into that. We're just beginning to understand exactly what that has as possible effect, only within like the last 30 years. So when we talk about mutation in regard to, we know how to make new species of things, right? We know how to make new plants all the time for it. It's simple processes. And we understand too that it deals with the genes. What if the genes are skewed? What if something happens in regard to, what if there's a chemical imbalance? But we don't know what one of those factors may eventually an individual to incur autism or to incur mutation in regard to physical form. So that's still science, which is being explored. So the fact is, we know that we are not, all these things are not just simply caused because, God said this child will be mutated, or God said that these individuals will be missing a gene or will suffer from sickle cell. God doesn't do that. It is the part of the evolutionary process, which testing things, trying them back and forth. Nature selects, man survives.
On a typical Easter Sunday, these alleys would be crowded with Christian pilgrims.
You know what that sounds like? Somebody's knocking at that door.
Just saying, Trump sucks.
Well, that's just like your dude. Because for a lot of people, 60 million Americans, they are thankful that he's our president. And it's not even in comparison to Kamala Harris. It's thankful because of his decisiveness, his strength, his courage, his boldness, his patriotism, his love of country. And if you fail to see that, and again, you think this man has no soul, and I just gotta, and see, that's your lack of spiritual understanding that's speaking there, because this is what I hear in a lot of these, even psychedelic, supposed psychedelic rooms. They all absolutely hate the commander-in-chief, but they're also suffering with pain in their own personal lives. And I gotta say, there's a connection there, because they use Trump as a projection for their own anger, their own hate, their own frustration, their own anxiety, their own fears. Trump is a catch-all for your personal responsibility, and that's, to me, what a Catholic does. They defer the personal responsibility onto a catch-all like Jesus, a poor Jewish guy that got murdered by the Romans. Rabboni Shalom. And everybody who says that it was the J words, not the R words, Jesus Christ, don't you know anything about Christianity? So what we're trying to say is when you come to Clubhouse to complain and you think this is a complaint department, it's not the layaway at Walmart. We're not the return section. We don't create these rooms as, customer service agents. We come here as opinion collectors. We're actually the garbage dump, and we run the waste management system here. Kind of like Tony Soprano, and in the end, don't forget, Tony Soprano had a spiritual revelation as he was, having somebody murdered and stealing from his rub job joint. He said, fuck it. Do whatever you want. I am complete, and I land my plane.
Right? Maybe I have anger issues. No, you know what? No, the hell with that. Everyone has issues, but nevertheless, there's some things which we don't project in regard to our emotions about, or common sense tells us that when something is wrong, right?
So you kind of hit the nail on the head there when you said, you know what? I got anger issues. Because honestly, that's what everybody's dealing with. If you come into a room that somebody else created and they're playing a game with you and you're getting angry that, you're being treated unfairly, you came into the room and you stayed in the room. That's a sadomasochistic, type of mentality where you actually want to abuse yourself. All I'm trying to say is, if you find yourself in a car and you road rage and you drive your car like a fucking asshole and you just rev that engine and you jam those brakes and you honk that horn and you get up on somebody's fucking bumper and you say, motherfucker, if that's how you drive, if that's how you roll, that's a you problem. You're stupid because your car won't last. Why destroy the vehicle? And why get angry because other people drive like fucking idiots, dummies? They're driving their car like they're suicidal. You see what I'm saying? It's self-harm. So this is actually an enlightenment, symposium, an enlightenment education room to use Trump as the vehicle of your salvation, of your liberation, of your enlightenment. Trump can do that for you, but you gotta let go of because you're not up there at the top of the hierarchy. You're at the bottom. You're in the sewer. You're in the gutter of Clubhouse. This is where dreams and opinions come to, it's all just being stored in Salt Lake City at all these data centers they're building. And, nobody at the FBI is going to waste their afternoon listening to your conversation about but the government will keep buying all your taxpayer dollars and even borrow to store you see what I'm saying? Alex, you haven't figured out the game yet, bro. This is your moment of coming to Jesus and saying, man, I got an anger management issue I'm still dealing with. And before I even deal with that, maybe I should just save till I can fix my anger. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? Hello?
No, I think I feel you. I think I understand for it. it's just things trigger me so easily for it. Like Epstein files, they trigger me. And I don't know why. I shouldn't let them trigger me for it. That's my own issues, you know what I'm saying? And it's things like a monument clause violation, you know what I mean? He gets a plane and all that stuff, and I'm jealous. I think it must be it.
When I say the three-fifth compromise, does that make you angry?
No, that doesn't excite me like those other things.
I'm just being facetious, meaning that we could come up with a list of 100 of your top things that would annoy you, and we could talk about it. But again, that's all just word hypnosis, brother. And Trump does that game. And you fall for it. Everybody falls for that. But that's the boy who cried wolf. You know why the boy who cried wolf works so good? Because every time the boy cries wolf, it's like the first time he ever did it. There's no such thing as boy cried wolf. It's the opposite. Every new communication is a new hypnosis. It reframes all previous communication. And that's why there's no ceasefire, dummy. War is perpetual. War is a lifetime. War is eternal. And if you don't understand what that means, that's because you never read it in a book like I have. Hello?
Let me ask you, why are they playing with my emotions like this thing? Why? What is that? Isn't that evil?
Well, the theory of personal responsibility is that you're actually doing all this. Now that's solipsistic, but the truth is, in Donald Trump's perspective, he is doing all this, and he actually is doing all this. That's the difference between you and Trump, T.A. Alex. Trump is actually doing this, and you're just observing the actual doing, and you got friction because you ain't actually doing it. Hello?
Hi guys, can I have a little objective of the vote?
Basil, let Alex respond. Alex, go ahead. You got 30 seconds, and then we're going to pass the mic to Dr. Basil.
No, I'm just saying, maybe you're right. Maybe all these things, I should take personal responsibility. Maybe I do want, the things. I want the billions of dollars that his family's getting right now for it. And I'm jealous. And I want, the world to hate me in regard to. I want the whole world to just think that, and allies to just run in different directions in regard to when I ask for help. And that's what I want.
So you're envious. You live in envy. You actually feel envy because sometimes there are times when I see friends or people I know and I see their Instagram and what they're doing with their lives, and I'm a little envious. I'm maybe a little jealous, but at the same time, I know I got a good book that they ain't got, and they're just eating their way. They're just fatties. They're living their. I'm not saying it's not an amazing lifestyle, but they just a bunch of fatties eating all the time, posting on Instagram. That's so boring. Even though they're worth $100 million, living on a private island with their own goddamn coffee plantation. They got fresh coffee in their plantation, T.A. Alex. That's how rich these people are. They got $300 million yachts that cost $45 million a year just to operate. You gotta have $50 million a year just in operating expenses to operate your yacht. Alex, you are envious of the little things in life. We are moving the mic to Basil. Go ahead, Basil.
Sorry because I've interrupted you, but I have a little objective on the vote. I've already said that. I'm not a U.S. citizen, just as a start. But I'm seeing that the conversations in Clubhouse or in any part of the social media, whether Trump is good or right, or whether the war is going through a better, let's say, fate, or is he just colliding with the whole U.S. economy and the global economy? But there's a question that nobody is even asking at this point. Is this even moral, the bombing of school children, or the bombing of civilians, or even the invasion of Iran and Iraq like 20 years before? I'm not saying is it advantageous for the U.S. or not, but even if it is advantageous for the U.S. as a government and as a citizen, which I really doubt, is it moral?
Is it moral? Well, we could define the words, then we could look at the perspectives, and we would get to an equilibrium, Basel. Because on the left or on the right, whether you're on this side or that side, everyone can and will justify their claims. And then we have to have a compromise about the words. And then there could be another escalation of violence that breaks out randomly. There could be secret intelligence operatives planning to do all kinds of chaos. And in war, World War II taught us a very bad lesson about all or nothing victories. That before Germany fell, there's like the Reichstag or something like that. I read an article about some battle. The position changed 15 times or 20 times, meaning that 1,000 people died here, 1,000 people died there, 3,000 died, then another 5,000 died, then another 3,000 died, all to take the position back and forth, back and forth. It's so crazy. So Basel, it's a funeral procession, and you are observing funeral rites. This is a ceremony and a ritual, a human sacrifice on the altar of observation. So when you ask, is it moral? The question is, what are you looking at? How are you spending your seconds? Because you got 2.5 billion seconds to spend, Basel. What are you going to spend it on with your observation, with your conscious attention? How much are you going to get paid per second for your words? Because when you die, many people don't know this. You go before, God in heaven, and God looks at the accounting, does an audit, does some actuarial science, and says, this is how much you earned per second, and these are how many words you used. So it turns out, Basel, that the people who earn the most are actually the biggest talkers, like Donald Trump, or Sundar Pichai, or Tim Cook, or Steve Jobs, who turned into a fruitcake and disappeared and left his wife a $300 billion nest egg to enjoy. You could be the Walton family, and now you can't find qualified workers to fill your warehouse distribution, wholesaling business, Basel. So I hope that answers your question. You have 30 seconds to respond. Welcome to the game.
I'm not very good at debate, and English is my second language. But I think that some, let's say, definitions or terms have been put on a spectrum. Like when I ask someone, is this moral or not? He responds like, you can say it's moral and you can say it's not. And I can, in the other way, respond in reverse. But I think that, like, bombing of civilian, or even the example that you added, World War II. World War II, nobody, at least I know nobody, that claims that the attacker, in this case, of course, the Nazi Germany, is moral in any way, or has any justification to utter that not just to Jews, but I mean to Poland, to France. Nobody has ever mentioned, or at least I didn't found somebody that mentions that there is a justification for the action of Hitler, because I think there's not.
Basel, is it your opinion? Is it your opinion, Basel, that there is a definitive World War I and a definitive World War II? And what does 1 + 2 equal?
I didn't get your question. Of course, definitive war.
There's a definitive war, but isn't that just an escalation and a de-escalation? Or if you know mathematics and distribution theory, it's a sine wave. It's an up and down, a crest and a trough, a crest and a trough, a crest. So to say this was the World War I crest and trough period, this is the World War II crest and trough period, and this is the World War III crest and trough period. This is human history. This is the history of violence. Hello?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But hear me out. It is our duty as human beings to, let's say, alleviate this crest control. and prevent the prevention, the reach or the reach to this crystal war. Because I told you I'm not a US citizen, but you as a US citizen, let's say, claim to the world that you have, as a citizens, the democratic power to change the leaders and to change the direction of the government and the actions of the government and the consequences. But from the media, from the memes, from the news, I'm not seeing this as very efficient. Till now, I haven't seen the Congress accepting or approving or whatever the political term for it, the war itself. And I can't imagine the president of the most democratic country in the world taking the army and attacking and invading another country without the acceptance of the Congress. That's hilarious, to be honest. And to what extent can the president do? I'm seeing Trump here or there just doing what's the word, presidential acts or presidential orders, just as if he's trying his power. If this will work, that will go. If this will not work, that maybe I should find another way for it. I'm sorry for my study language. I think the concept has reached. Did it?
But afterwards, we will be allowed to
Yes.
see that kind of thing.
You know, if I can answer your question too, I mean, I think your initial question as to whether or not this is moral. And you have to remember that the United States has always held itself to be sort of a beacon of morality in regard to world affairs. So the people are somewhat confused. But in actual truth, a war without actual justification or something which is verifiable, something which is when not sort of leaves uncertainty in regard to what its cause is, or as to whether or not its objectives, or it could never be considered moral. You know what I mean? As Alistair said himself, you know, the world is constantly in war. World War I and World War II were only a precipice in regard to what we consider international conflicts, all at once, nations building on one another for, and we learn from them. We learn the detrimental effects to mankind, to society, owing to the end, and what the potential consequences. So we also try to become more moral in regard to what it is we did. But we protect our interest. We protect our interest in regard to our economy and making our money here in the U.S. So we like our Waltons and our Gates and our even, I guess, suppose even people like Trump. We have a different value system that also reflects sometimes in regard to moral characters. And sometimes that may kind of confuse the issue. But the overall with morals, yes, this is a moral war, and we are moral people, and we object to it, at least to that level.
Well, I think we're in the same point. I'm not seeing any conflicting ideas between our texts, and that's cool. But the thing is that I'm not sure if the international law was a bad trial to prevent World War II appearing, or World War. Of course, it didn't prevent. But I'm not sure if it is a bad trial to prevent the crust you have been mentioning, or is it just let's say a political arm done mainly by the US, which is the highest funder to all this international laws and international courts and all of this, just to make, I'm not sure, and if, for example, if an African leader had done a bad act, let's call it that way, that is not moral, would be immediately what's the word, put as a criminal to the court, and his country will be afterwards will undergo
So one of my favorite ways to use Clubhouse and to experience the experience here is to play music and to read poetry. And if you haven't done that yet on this app, well, let's just say you're probably really boring in the real world. You could have an autistic social anxiety disorder. Poetry, operas, musicals. They used to perform. Who knows? They had to entertain themselves, right? Shit. You listen to Orson Welles fart and say all this bullshit. Every moment you are hypnotized listening. Every moment you give me the grace of your attention, that means the hypnosis is working. So I want to thank you all for coming to this hypnosis experiment. This has been, as T.A. Alex likes to say, he is a scientist. And he believes in the scientific method of observation, and theorizing, and replicating, and proving over and over. Snap my fingers and you listen to my fingers. There you are. Dehypnotized, reconditioned for excellence, reconditioned for purpose, reconditioned for glory. Loving of your country and of your commander-in-chief than you've been suffering from. And especially if you're from New York and you've always hated him because he was always in the billboard and you never were, well, that's okay. We can help fill your heart up too. We can make you feel love. We can make you feel joy. We can take you and lift you out of your deep depression of despair and anger and liberate you through technology. Any way, shape, or form. This is purely comedy and entertainment, so don't take it literally. That's my drift. It's just my you. I wouldn't listen to somebody hypnotize me unless I thought maybe that person was intelligent, right? But how many people here day after day submit themselves to individuals who they willingly know are probably less intelligent than them, and they're not even saying anything intelligent on the app? You could be stupid, but you could read me something which is intelligent, and it would be valuable for me as unless you're being intelligence is speaking to you and it's of value to you, right? But as I just said, and as you are still hypnotized, and it's a waste of their time. So clearly, let me. But if she gives me her right hand and I grab it in my hand and I start massaging those fingers, those plump little donuts, and I start circulating the blood around the hand of my beautiful future lover, and she's saying, wow, that feels so good. Are you going to read my palm? I say yes, as I massage deep into the palm and I analyze her depth. In a pleasant, always inspiring, and we come to the conclusion that a massage is not just a massage, A massage is a message. It's communication. It's direct. All communication is hypnosis. So if you see blonde suits in your nightmares, you've been hypnotized and conditioned and programmed to hate a blonde floating wig, a floating red tie of despair and debt and bankruptcy and war, that horrible specter that haunts man's minds. World War III! Nuclear! Greatest of all specters with the... If you've ever experienced the sunless life, living in the black darkness of the sky, and you can't see the sun because there's smoke for just one day. Oh, the horror of not being able to suntan. In conclusion, intelligence flowing at you, flowing through you, as you play this game of life called Guitar Hero. Ding, 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 ding. See what I'm saying? Life is a flow, and it's coming at you all the time. This app proves that. And the thing is, how do you always hit your... That's the big... That type of flow was probably overwhelming for his consciousness if he was listening to me. Kors, do you have anything you'd like to add to the conversation? No?
No, sorry, man. I was hypnotized.
Oh, some people think a burp smells worse than a fart. What do you think? You live in an opinionless opinion life. Is that your opinion that you have no opinion?
Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
So, can we go back on the Iran war thing?
What do you want to talk about? What is my opinion?
Yeah.
About the war?
About the situation right now.
What is...
Yeah, I think they're back each other, I think. But for the best interest for Iran, I think, because America or Israel don't do anything about this, yeah, the people will stay suffering and in the same situation.
Welcome, Hussy. Hussy, welcome to the room. Of course, thank you for that.
What up? It's like either deploy Marines and nukes. Oh no, the ball's gone. Okay then. That takes that. Hey guys, what do you think about the blockade? It's smart.
No itch.
Okay, there's a new poll. There's a new poll in the house. I want to thank everybody for staying here in the room and listening. Well, we'll just leave it. Yeah, libertarian. Libertarians are basically small government advocates.
Okay. I'm like a big government kind of guy, you know. I want big governments.
You want big governments?
Yeah.
So people are you Iranian?
No.
Well, people is every complaint that the we've got universal complaints that everybody so government, they don't take complaints, they create complaints.
And maybe in my ex's lives as well. My friends' lives. Yeah, I guess.
Mm. Experiments is the
You know, so and then you yeah, so
See, the government could just offer a gas stipend and reimburse drivers, for like 3 months, and then see how that program works. But they'd have to legislate it and distribute the money. And that's the theory of modern economics, which is just print more money to resolve the debt. Civilizational for 100 hungry college kids. You see what I'm saying? Like, they are just complainers. They have no real world experience, and therefore they're not fit, and they are not suitable for governance. I saw somebody wearing a shirt yesterday that said there is no political solution. The truth is that the opposite of that. There's only political solutions. Solutions, well, then they're really stupid, and they will get what they deserve. Then that's my opinion. Hello.
I think like what the Iranians are trying to do is like get a political solution that suits them. So I don't think they're like war is just like a means to politics. So they're trying so they can like maybe get the political solution they want. And I guess like if the US gets bored of that, they'll just give them what they want and they'll go out.
So
Like it's
let me ask you, Hussey, let me ask you a quick question. Do you think you could teach me a new English word today?
No. My English is not that. What's the name of it? It's not the yellow for the egg.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't think you know that. This is a German saying.
So there's this thing on the human body. It's called the tragus or the tragus. It is a cartilaginous flap on the inner ear canal opening. Do you know what they call that if in politics? The tragus?
No.
It's called the ear clit. It's called an ear clit. So if you just keep tickling that ear clit with Boy Who Cried Wolf, well, that's all the human brain requires is stimulus. It doesn't even have to be intelligent. You just got to keep playing with that tragus, the cartilaginous flap at the ear canal opening. It is a preauricular skin tag. Preauricular. It's a new growth of skin and cartilage. It's a sensation of a foreign body. It could be hardened by earwax, but it's called the tragus. That's your word of the day. The tragus.
Nice. Tragus. Sounds like a tragedy. Chorus, what are you Iranian?
Yes, Lucy, I'm Iranian living in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands.
Yes.
My God, the Netherlands. Where do you live in the Netherlands?
Rotterdam.
Rotterdam. I was in Rotterdam last year.
Really?
Yeah. You like it? Yeah, I liked it. Like I kind of went there for like one day, and then like my aunt lives in Nijmegen.
Oh yeah.
speaking that well. Yeah, and it's like I would say the Netherlands is like the most overrated country in Europe.
Yeah, it is.
So boring. Like it's flat. The whole thing is flat. Why is it so flat? It's crazy. And the whole thing, like when you go, like I went with a car. When you go like from the autobahn to this, it's like 100 km/h or something like that. And your like highway, it's crazy. Like the downgrade. Like here's one thing I think the government should not intervene with is like speed limit. Speed limit should be there should be no speed limit anywhere in the world, especially on the highway.
I think it's the most taxed country of the world. If you see like one of the most.
If I'm paying 50% of my salary in taxes, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. If you see like the gas prices here, it's not normal because it's like 70% taxed. Like we pay €2.50 a liter now.
Yeah, us too. It's crazy. Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, same thing in Chicago. It's $5 a gallon in Chicago, but the state of Illinois Taxing Authority puts on a couple dollars. So it's all environmental tax, and it goes into a general purpose fund, and they're just ripping us off. It's the government is the problem. We need new management.
Yeah. But like the thing is, I'm just like my car has also like is a plug-in hybrid, so I'm charging it right now. So I could drive with like, but I'm just driving it in the city, and like I'm taking the public transport like most of the time. Like the public transport is really decent in Europe. You don't need a car. Yeah, it's a nice to have, and not like it's more like a luxury thing, kind of thing. But you don't need it in Europe. I think like in the US it's different.
Yeah, we'll see. What is your opinion about this war?
This war?
Yeah,
dude, we're fucked. This war. That's the thing about this war. Like I know I'm maybe here I'm gonna be in the minority, but I think it's a mess. It's not going well. I think also like there's no option of backing down. Like some people saying like just like get out, and I don't think there's get out right now. I think like it's gonna take like 2 to 3 years. Like ultimately, I think the US will get out because they're gonna get bored. And I don't know, I think like Iran at that time.
Before that, the regime will change before they get bored.
I don't think the regime will change, to be honest. I'm sorry, Peter. Like I hope so. I hope.
Relying on that.
Yeah, I hope so. But I don't think the regime will change, to be honest. I think what will happen is like it will go like 2 to 3 years, and I don't know, until then, alternative routes will be found for oil, or the world will just get used to having less oil. Like you can see, like the cars are now like don't need that much like gasoline, like 10 years ago.
This Kurdish girl is from Hindustan, living in India, living in Netherlands. What does he use oil and sword? He's like you. You are not from Iran. You are from Pakistan, India. Why do you come from Iran?
I don't know, dude. Good asshole. But so, Peter,
you're talking shit, man.
Peter, chill. Okay.
Speak Russian. If you are carrying this flag, you should be able to speak Russian. فارسی حرف بزن اگه بلدی Can you speak Russian?
I'm not.
Peter. Elon has no internet. Shut the fuck off. Or nobody to comment on behalf of Iranians if you cannot speak Russian. If you can speak Russian, فارسی حرف بزن. You too. You are not also Iranian. You are him. You are not.
I'm not Iranian.
Okay, so fuck off.
Yeah. Dude.
پیتر مادر جنده من فارسی صحبت میکنم چی میگی تو؟
But he just taught Farsi to you.
Going, okay? فارسی حرف بزن. فارسی حرف بزن دیگه.
Peter, I was talking to you. What is your opinion? How can we end this war?
Peter, bye. It takes that long. I think also like the US can't back down right now. Like there's no possibility to back down because like your allies are being hit the whole time. The ship lane is not open, and I think like the result will be like in 3 years' time there will be like frozen conflict or something like that. There's like some kind of solution, or like Iran loses its leverage, you know, with time, like because like the world will get used maybe to less oil, you know, like things are getting more efficient as we gasoline. joined the fight as well against Israel. So, yeah, I think the Shiite community in Lebanon are going to be fucked after if I think even if Iran holds on, I think they're fucked anyway because I think I think that Iran will sell them like nothing. Like we saw when Israel killed the guy, what's his name, the head of Hezbollah, the last head of Hezbollah. To do ceasefire, and they told him they sold him I think Iran would. These are just cards, and they would use them, and as long as they're useful, and they're not useful.
I think you mean Hassan Nasrallah.
Yeah, Hassan Nasrallah. Yeah, and I think when they're not useful, they're just gonna throw them up. Gonna throw them. We saw as well with Hamas. Did the IRGC now go into Gaza and protected the people in Gaza? Of course not. They're just cards. They go into negotiations and they give them up once a better deal is reached. And I think it's for the Lebanese people.
They being well, of these proxies and have to abide by them because they are in their village and putting them under pressure?
I think the way you describe it is very weird because I think they're fucked anyway because Israel wants their land, not because they belong to this group or that group. They want that land, Israel. They want a buffer zone for now. We don't know what will happen later. The Israeli government is very clear about it. They want southern Lebanon, and they want it without homes. And the one southern of the Litani. They'll leave some towns, but I don't think the fight is ideological. I think the fight is about taking land from Lebanon. And Hezbollah.
You don't think it's for self-defense? You think it's just all about the land?
What do I think is self-defense? Which one?
You don't think
else? You're kidding me. No, I don't think it's defending itself right now. I think it's very clear right now, breaking the truce with Hezbollah. 2,000 times or 3 times. Attacked Israel once. They said the truce is gone. 3,000 times while in a truce with Lebanon. So
I'm happy that you mentioned it yourself. It's Hezbollah by orders of IRGC that fired missiles and started firing missiles from Lebanon into Israel. So it's not fair to say that Israel started in Lebanon. On itself, the country of Lebanon is Turkey, and to ensure that there is no other sort of proxy from attacking other countries from inside people's in homes, civilian homes, they're fucking firing missiles through the fucking window where people live.
Yeah. What do you expect if you're like a proxy? So I think the Lebanese government actually right now should just dissolve, because like I don't think
Yeah, why not just give
they
up?
can be,
It's already fucked
they can
up.
be because they have nothing. They have no money. They have no. You could go and look like I thought about bonds from Lebanon. They're like five. They're gonna get their money back from the bonds of Lebanon. You know, it's this country is it's like crazy. Give up, you know, because they're unable to do anything. Part and they're southern part. I don't know which country accepts that.
Yes, and they were also unable to keep out a foreign militia into their country.
Yeah, that's why they should dissolve themselves. They should just shut up, you know. It doesn't matter what they say. You know, here's the thing. It's like the thing is about Hezbollah. You know, he's Lebanese. It's a Lebanese militia. You know, so
they are Lebanese, but we all know that
this is Lebanese problem. But the thing is, if the government is unable to take care of like outside interference,
Hezbollah takes him into his protection in their own fucking country. What?
yeah, they can like they asked them to leave. They didn't leave. How can what kind of country is that? That they can't even kick them. What? No, the whole structure is dumb. You know, Lebanon should have rebuilt itself after the Civil War. Instead of that, what did they do? They fought against each other. They started like doing political stuff against each other. And I don't know, but I think like Lebanese should have noticed. Now Hezbollah is unable to protect them. What happens? I don't know. You know, is now gone. Now they're getting invaded. The same with Syria as well. Like Israel is now encroaching also into Syria. You know, they're gonna take more land. They're gonna kick people out. At some point, they're gonna annex it and move
The
people.
thing is, whose fault is this? If you ask me, I'm a very simple thinker, very practical. Lebanese government was unable to keep the proxy militia. Have to give up land. It's
So do you think the Arab countries should also take land from Iran?
well, I wish them very much luck, but the transitional government of Iran is not going to allow it.
What happened to that land? It's gone.
You cannot. Wait. You cannot. I don't want to sound cocky.
Yeah.
You cannot. You can make the example of Syria and Iran. It's not the same.
It's not the same. Why?
The
The
history
Iranians
is not
are
the same.
the Iranians
Military
are
is not the same.
master
The people
master
are not the
race.
same.
Are you guys the master race? It's was about that. Was justified in throwing chemical weapons because you hit IRGC in your country
Wait, what? Saddam Hussein was justified to throw it?
through chemical weapons.
Of course not. That's never justified.
Okay, so Israel is like, but Israel is justified.
Why are you making these? It's not. It's not.
Watching hypocrisy, you know?
Have you heard of Ebola or not?
Yeah, have you heard of the IRGC?
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's why Israel's
No,
attacking.
I'm just talking. No. You misunderstood me. No. I'm talking about taking land. You know, I think. Kuwait and Iraq. Maybe they can like divide it. I think there should be like another country, another Arab country on the Persian Gulf. You know, and this could like Balochistan maybe as well, and they can like divide it among each other. You know.
Listen, these separatist ideas. I the Iranian city around in Iran. There is not even one city in Iran like Balochistan or Kurdistan that even has the slightest idea taking land from the whole country of Iran. It's
Right
not
now.
gonna happen. People are not gonna allow that to happen. It's
But
not
don't you think like if right now, this is right now, you know, but like don't you think like in 2 to 3 years once or maybe like 10 years once like there's no government, there's no governing body, people are
Listen,
very
Iran
poor.
has been existing for 2,556 years.
Dude,
It has never happened and it will never happen.
This applies for every country in the region.
I don't know which
3,500
country you're
years.
talking about. I don't know how long they've been existing. Who put them there? The British government.
Egypt.
Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck? Like, who cares? You know, like every country could be separated, could be severed. You know, every country can lose some land. Like, Yemen was like also like no way. I talked to a friend of mine who's Yemeni. You know, he was like, we've been there for 6,000 years. We're not gonna get separated. Yeah, we were separated into South and North Yemen. You know, like
like that, you know. There's a
yeah, you are the master race. I understand.
well, I mean, come on.
Is that the name of a song or something? Yeah, you're the master
You are the
race.
master race.
Yeah, you're the master race.
That'd be a fair comparison.
Yeah, you're the master race. The chosen people. The master race. I strike the master chord. I draw the flaming sword. Hello?
I mean, we're not doing that bad in Yemen.
Yemen? What? I don't know. Like I like pick a country and I can compare it to Iran. I don't know, like like it's
just the comparison you make. Yemen, everyone that knows the Middle East knows that you can't that comparison. Come on.
Okay, what country should I compare Iran to?
You can't. You can't compare countries like that. You just can't.
Okay, so Iran is unique.
Not even with. It's a totally different story, and Egypt is in North Africa. That's also a different continent, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you told me it's like 3,000 years old, and it's like okay, Egypt's 5,000 years old. I don't care. Like I don't care how old the country is. Like I don't know. Iran was like almost like all of its history, like almost all of its history was conquered by I don't know, like by Alexander, and then by Islam, and then I don't know, sometimes by Romans. Like yeah, I don't know. You're still here, like
FYI.
Like you're still here. I'm not arguing with that, but like I'm just saying, like if you can be removed from their land, because
I'm not saying that at all. That is not you are putting words in my mouth. I don't appreciate you putting words in my mouth. No, I said and then starting a war with another country. That's what they are responsible for. That's what I said.
But you said also it's okay if the Lebanese people are removed from their land.
No, I did not say that it's okay. I said who's responsible for it, though.
Yeah, but
it's their own government. They need to fix it. Give them a house, build them a house.
In another place.
Well, no. They can once we know that the Jews are safe, because Jews deserve to live just like you and me.
Yeah, I'm not.
Then they can get back the land and build their house.
They're not gonna get back their land. Like let's just not be naive, Like it's clearly what the government is saying, the Israeli government. I'm not talking about the Jews, I'm not talking about the Israelis as well. I'm talking about the government. The government right now in Israel wants the land, and they want the land without Lebanese people inside it.
If the Lebanese government is not able to secure the area, well, what do you expect people to do? Get people back on that border and attack Jews? Just Jews in Israel, right? There's Muslims in Israel as well.
I don't care about Muslims and Jews in Israel. I care about people not losing them. That's what I care about. I don't care about in that case.
Me too.
I think people should not lose their homes. But I think it's like such a hypocrisy. The Lebanese government to accept the loss of their the Lebanese people, let's be clear, to accept the loss of their own country, but you are not ready to give up your own land.
No, because they have to fight against the invaders of their country that started this war.
If they fight against Hezbollah, like if Hezbollah gone, do you think Israel will give them that land back?
Well, the best chance of getting that land back would be, in my opinion, to get the terrorists out, obviously.
And then fight against Israel without any weapons or what?
Fight against? Why would you need to fight when you're not doing
anything wrong? Do you think Israel will just back off and give them that?
If they are safe, I think so.
There's a lot of water. There's a lot of water there. Dude, they're not going to get that land back. The problem with the Middle East is water, and there's a lot of water in Lebanon. Israel will never give them that land back. Like that's never going to happen. Everyone also said before also like everyone was also saying like Israel would give Golan Heights back to Syria once the government is good there. No. They're not. They're not going to give them any land back. They're going to take more if they see the opportunity as well. So, like, it's also the same for, like, Arab countries. If they get the chance to take, like, southern Iran, they would. I don't think they would because they're too weak to do that, So,
Lucky you. But I think they would, to be honest. I think like.
Honestly, I don't think the Saudis are like that. I don't think.
No, not the Saudis. I think the Iraqis. I think the Saudis would do that.
The Iraqis, they could be. Maybe, they would think of something like that. Yes, the Iraqis.
You know, also, since you talked about Persia, I just looked it up online. Baghdad used to be the capital of Persia. What the fuck? Can you explain that?
No, that's actually incorrect. Baghdad was Babylon, if you look into history.
Yeah, it's the same. Who cares? Like.
No, it's not the same.
Yeah, it's the same city, right?
Babylon?
Like the same place.
Wait. No. It was Persepolis.
Persepolis, where is it?
Persepolis, built by King Darius. Darius the First. So I don't know how he came to Baghdad. You know, where King Korosh, Cyrus the Great, freed the Jews and let them build the temple in Jerusalem. Remember?
No, I don't remember. I wasn't
Well,
there.
we all do.
I wasn't there.
All right, I did some fact checking, and I found out that your statement is false because there have been some wars in between 1982 and 2000 where Israel was installed in Lebanon and had a security zone.
But I talked about the government right now, not talking about the 82.
And right now, there is no official,
No, this is
translating in English, there's no official anything being said from Israel that they want. There is a buffer zone. It's a temporary military buffer zone to protect themselves, as I thought.
Why did they remove the people from there? In the 80s, like this is the difference, you know. In the 80s, they did not remove any people from the buffer zone, you know. In 82, I don't know which year that is.
What is a buffer zone exactly? You know, we call it a buffer as if it's supposed to prevent some friction. But really, when you can't trust your neighbors and you have to create buffer zones, is that really a life worth living where you have to create buffers? Does anyone here know the difference between a buffer and a buffer?
Buffer is like.
How about the difference between a buffer and a buffet? I like a buffet zone. Could we create a buffet zone in between Palestine?
Guys, I need to leave. It was nice talking to you. Because I need to eat. It's 10 p.m. in my place.
Thanks for the conversation.
Yeah, thank you too, guys.
Let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't like the conversation anyway. I learned a lot as well. Thank you, guys.
A couple weeks ago, I went to Key West, which, as you may or may not know, Key West is actually a buffet zone. It's not a buffer zone, but it is a buffet zone.
Does the buffet zone start with a J word?
It does, actually.
Welcome to the room, everybody. If you haven't yet experienced this room, the happening, just raise your hand and share your opinion. You get 30 to 60 seconds to say whatever you're thinking about.
Is that like a fresh minute? Do I get it every minute?
If you are a flower, you are by default fresh.
Well, I'd like to share really briefly that I spent the day teaching a bunch of old ladies how to weave baskets from twigs that I gathered off of the ground. I gathered the twigs. I think that I feel good about how I spent my day. The ladies had fun weaving their baskets, and we didn't change anything in the grand scheme of things, but at least I didn't sit under a bridge shooting heroin into my arm. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Experience. If you have not yet purchased gold coins, go ahead, pull out some gold coins and send them to me right now. We accept donations for free because of your generosity. Charity is next to godliness. If you want to be closer to the God and want miracles in your life, send me your money. That's right. Right now, buy your gold coins through Google Pay or Apple Pay and link your Stripe account to Clubhouse. Send me all your money, all your gold coins. The more you send, the more joy you will experience.
And what if we don't got money?
Well, you can borrow other people. So I wouldn't dare say you break any laws and steal any money. To keep it in my gold coin clubhouse vault, which is eternal and fully secured against all possible eventualities.
Wait, so would you say that the more we spend, and the more we send, the closer to the truth we're going to get, essentially.
Exactly. Talk to Dennis here. Dennis is one of my many satisfied banking clients who sends me his gold coins. Thank you, Dr. Dennis, for putting your trust in me, the universe. There's nothing more than I like than to hear that gold coin clinking here on Clubhouse. Makes me into Scrooge McDuck. Send me your gold coins! I want more gold coins! The more you send, the more joy you shall experience.
All communications to ghosts.
All communication is gold coins sent to the universe. If you're feeling it, if you feel good inside, if you feel strong inside, send me your gold coins right now. And we will preserve those gold coins and all those feelings of joy and strength and happiness and, dare I say, even ecstasy. Some people think that the universe is magnetizing you to send the universe your gold coins. You'd be correct. The universe is a gold coin magnetizer. If you want to feel good inside, if you want to feel like you've never felt inside before, something joyful, something playful, something creative, just go ahead and buy $5 worth of gold coins right now and send the universe your gold coins, aka money. Because after all, what is money? It's just gold coins you're sending me.
Everybody's gone, except for me. We can invite more people to the stage. Shumaila, we can Project B to the stage. Lala Ali.
So this has been a long-running room. You weren't here earlier, but this was originally titled J.D. Vance Failed to Achieve Peace, What's Next for the War in Iran? And it was a big room. And BB was in here screaming. Everybody was in here. Daniel was in here screaming. And I was like, hit it again, Daniel! Hit it again! Project B.
That's good. I'm sorry I missed it.
Project B, what is the difference between Plan B and Project B?
Wait, what's the difference between Plan B and Project B? Wait, I think I heard it.
Is there any similarity between Project B and Project